Okay, let's get started. I'm excited. This is a little bit the first time I'm doing kind of like a developer video, so it's a little bit messy, maybe. We'll see. I'll do my best to try to explain things simply and be very concise without going into too much of the weeds. And my goal here is to show you about the Mantra OS and how to create apps on the Mantra OS. So I had a question, so a big question for me. There's this app on Mantra OS I really like, and it is an app that's so Mantra OS. And it is an app that's allow you to, it's called the Mantra Notes. You can see it down there. I don't know if that works. No, you can see it down on Mantra Notes. So I created, I wanted to see, so what does Mantra Note does? Mantra Note is going to, when it's turned on, is going to capture every conversation that I have with anyone, every audio things. It's going to transcribe it. So the Mantra is going to transcribe it and it's going to organize it by conversations. And it's going to ask an AI to create a summary of each of those conversations. So you can automatically add notes, create notes out of it. And then it's going to save all those transcriptions on a daily basis. I love that type of concept. I think it's a great thing to have like a memory, like having the AI on your back and the AI having a memory. So if you infer the AI based on those information, you can get really valuable information. I love that concept, the basic of it. Now, the big problem for me with this is that I would never use an app like that. I would have no trust at all on where those data are going. So here's the challenge that I wanted you to go through is now Mantra OS claims to be open source and claims that everything is open source and you can have access to all the source code. I wanted to see if it is open source, then I can get the source code of the app and make everything work on my local system. So I have a ggxpark here in the office. So I'm saying, let's set up everything and see if I can set up everything on ggxparks and no data going outside. So then I'll feel like more safe to use that and have a conversation with someone knowing safely that all that conversation and those data will go on my own computer and never go outside. Okay, so let's go into that challenge and see how we can do this and if we're able to get that going and working. So for that, you need to get started with Mantra. And to get started with Mantra, let me give you a rundown of their operating system and how it works. So basically, not only the platform to develop apps is open source, but the entire everything is open source. Like their app they're offering is open source, the iOS app, the Android app is open source, the system where the app connects with the server, so the server side is also open source, the client side is open source. So you have all those open source part of it, and let me show you a little bit the architecture of that open source system. And let me summarize it because I think this is more confusing than it needs to be. But in short, you have the hardware layer with the glasses, and that has all the feature of the glasses that's interpreted by the mobile app. And then that mobile app will transcribe that into an SDK that your app here down there can consume. In between the mobile app and your own app, which is a third-party app down there, you have kind of like a cloud server with a WebSocket that in real time connects your apps to the mobile app and the glasses. So your app running on your own server is connected in real time to the glasses thanks to a mobile Android app or iOS app and a cloud system that has a streaming WebSocket service. Okay, so that's the gist of it, of their platform. And I validated it, I looked at it, and I found it. There's a source code of all of that. I digged into it, so you can build the Android app or the iOS app. You can download the APK client. You can also create, they have also other projects. Right now they support officially only 3 glasses, but if you dig down, there's support for a lot more glasses. But it's not official and it's not fully probably supported. So then when you're, this is where we're going to develop from. And from there, let's see, actually let's go here. This is my VS Code, it's open, and it shows basically the installations. So in short, you clone, oh, I forgot, before I clone, what I did before, I did a fork. So let me show you the fork. Sorry, you're not seeing it. You want to see the fork? Here's the fork. So I did a fork of their Mantra Note app. So I copied their app and I created a fork of it. And then from there, I did code made some change to it. Okay. So let's go to the change after. Let's first go to how you set up everything and get going with this. You have to install Node, you have to install npx, you have to install bun, and then you have to clone the repo of your stuff. In our case, it's Mantra Notes that I cloned, and you have the .example that has all the configuration information for your application, so you can use that. And you can see down there that it's transcribing everything that I'm saying because the app is actually running right now, so you can see it in the log down there. So when you have everything, the environment is set up. It's as simple as just running bun run dev and it starts working. Now that you have it running on your here I'm running on my local Docker on the Spark, you need to expose that because when you have it running, what you need to do is you need to have it to be available to their, let me show you again. You see this little part here, the cloud layer here, that's basically where the store is set up. So you need to go to the website called console.mantraglasses.com, and on that part, that's where you set up the app. So you see this is my apps, and the one I created and I cloned is called After Now AI Notes. So it's here, and I can show you what you have to fill in to just set it up. So to open developer protocol, I just signed up. There's no like really complex validation process here. It's pretty straightforward. You need a logo though, so ask a logo and generate the logo. And then you need this outside URL. So that's why they want you to use ngrok, is to be able to make this a secured outside URL from when you run your bun dev or bun run dev. And for that I used Cloudflare, so I could create my own like available and secure tunnel to my Docker instance on the Spark. You give it the permissions and the microphone, the camera hardware, and then the permission that you requires, and pretty much that's all you have to do. And when you have done that and you're set up into their console and you have exposed that URL, which I used here, you can see it. This is my Cloudflare tunnel. I don't think you'll have, yeah, don't cheat my token. I'm kidding. So that's my tunnel that's running. And then when that's running, it's really interesting and impressive because it works right away. So far I never had an issue. And the app just appears on your account on the 𝗲𝗲 Android app because it's the same account as your console. So it will appear just there. So if you look at here, this is my 𝗲𝗲 OS app, and I'm going to tap on opening my app that I just created, and you can see, and it's already transcribing everything we're discussing, and all I'm saying basically it's going to be a one. Probably if we go there, yeah, you can see it's a one speaker transcriptions, and you can see the transcriptions are happening real time of me talking to you guys. So basically, so that app is running, it runs right away, it's really straightforward, and it's really cool. So now about everything running on the local. So let's get to part. So this is how you get started and how you run your apps and you develop basically for that operating system. So let's go back to VS Code and show you a couple of things that I needed to add. So one, let me go back up because you need MongoDB. So I needed to run, so I did a quick Docker pull to get MongoDB running from Docker, and that was pretty easy to set up. I was lazy, so I used a bind IPL, but you can make that cleaner with Docker Compose. And then for the LLMs, what I wanted I didn't want my transcriptions to go to OpenAI or Anthropic or any of those companies. Which they're supported on their Node app. You can use Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google Gemini. And so I just basically followed the instructions that you have in this page, built NVIDIA. So basically 𝗲𝗲 for Spark, and this page will give you all the steps. It's really simple. I just followed what was there. I even followed the specific model that they suggested, which is 𝗪4, and worked perfectly. It's a really cool little, really like in terms of small size for LLM, it's really good. I was really surprised. So I ran that, and that has been running for a few days now, pretty well, on my little Spark machine. So this is how you run your start your llama server, and from there I have it on my local. So here's all the additional changes that I've done to make sure that everything was safe and secure. So I was able to modify the app. It was really simple to change because the source is pretty well done. They make it really easy for you to, the 𝗲𝗲 team, make it really easy for you as a developer. They have all those kind of like, where is it? Where did I find that? They have like this MCP somewhere. Yeah, here it is. They have all this MCP that you can use for their documentation that you can integrate in the IDE. So basically I did the change using OpenEnd. Here it is, OpenEnd. So I did the following change. So this is a change on my version of my fork. It's publicly available. It needs to be cleaned up, but it works, as you can see, and it's transcribing real time. What I did as a change is basically I want it to be Docker friendly, so it's improving, and actually the version that's on the Git repo is cleaner. It doesn't work within VS Code. And they were sending the transcribe every day to remote storage, which makes sense when you run into Docker, but I wanted everything on my Spark, so I created an interface so you could use local storage in addition of a third remote storage like S3 or R2 from Cloudflare. And I wanted, as you can see, using 𝗲𝗲. So I implemented the 𝗲𝗲 support. Support, I didn't know if I would use 𝗲𝗲 or 𝗲𝗲 because I have both running. So I used 𝗲𝗲, and but both I implemented in this version. And also I created like some configuration change for it, and also cleaned up. There was a little bit of analytic going on. I turned that off for the post-hog API. I also make sure that there was a flag to make sure it's use only the local LLM and it doesn't transpire some little requests to the outside LLMs. And I also describe, the AI did that for me, but we worked on that together to update the privacy and describe all the privacy features that we have in this new version. So I'm happy to say that it actually works. Now that I have my MongoDB running here, this is the MongoDB running here, and I also have, this is actually the 𝗲𝗲 with 𝗪4 𝗏31b running here and doing all the summary for all the conversation. Then the actual app is actually running right now in the VS Code. It's here running with bun dev because I'm still developing. but that's running right now, and that works. The transcription is working, and everything is located inside my Spark here on the server. So I know that my data are safe. I'm fully in control of it, and I know what's happening. One important thing to know is the 𝗏𝗏𝗏/OS, this app, the 𝗏𝗏 app, is actually doing the transcription. It's transcribing for me and sending to my app only the transcribed text. So I don't know what local LLM they're using here, and you can also, if you want to, request to get the audio chunks instead of the transcribed version. So you can do your own local LLM transcription. So I didn't have time to dig into the source code, the 𝗏𝗏𝗏/OS, to check exactly which LLM and what they're doing for the transcription of the OS itself. Hopefully it's not going to a third party. I don't think it's happening. That would not make sense in terms of performance. But the transcription are pretty good, so I'm kind of like questioning. So this is where we at with this. So I'm happy to say that they're a really good platform for creating apps. It's really, really easy to do. You get going really fast. There's no blocks. There's no approval and request and submit. If you want to submit to the general sort, to the public, you probably have to go to the approval process. But for developing app for your own, it's really easy and simple and goes really fast. And I'm happy to say that because it's open source, you can own your data. It's kind of like the first time that I'm excited about that, because I have a platform and a system where I will actually own the data. They will be on my server and nobody will touch it unless they hack me. But that's another story. I don't have to worry about privacy policies and agreements that all those platforms give you that are complicated and impossible to read. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this concept of open source for those glasses. I think this is for AI glasses. This is key. It's key that we can be able to be completely sovereign of those data. Imagine a company having to give away all your data to Google or to OpenAI and all those type of things. Here you can own those data for yourself, own the data for your own company, and make sure that it all stays inside your network. So this is exciting. This is my review. If you have questions, if you feel like I forgot to say something because I went as fast as I could. But like I said, it was so simple that there's not that much to show, and it's pretty quick to do. So here we go. Go 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and looking forward for the future and all those contributions that hopefully will happen in this platform. Feel free to reach out, and don't forget to like and all those type of things. Thank you.